What's happened? What kind of place is this? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. I might be dead. I can't get up. What's going on here? What's happening to me? There's no one here, yet these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open. This place, time, memory. The only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll. No, she's freezing. She's alone. Let's look for her. It is not forbidden. Let's find Charlotte. Renée does not want to abandon her. Let's search the wards on the first floor. There's a plan on the wall which shows where the various wards are located. Let's find Charlotte. She is alone. She is in the dark. Let's find Charlotte. She is alone. She is in the dark. Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and I was amazed. I did not understand. At first, I was quite afraid. I feared that she wanted to hurt me. I was constantly expecting the moment when Mum would abandon her. Because I did not deserve to live. I did not deserve to be loved. It's cold. It's dark. Now she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. It's not forbidden. Charlotte is a good girl. Those lamps might make the room warmer, but Charlotte's uncomfortable. She doesn't feel well. Charlotte is cold. Let's find her a warm place. It's warm in the sun, that's true. It'll turn cold in the evening. That's not good for Charlotte. He doesn't want to. No, in the town of light, he doesn't want to. I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor. It's a convenient place and we can get Charlotte into a warm place. This is a comfortable place for Charlotte. But it's cold. No, no, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. We need to find warm lights. Let's go into the surgical ward. The cold goes away, you see? The light. Warmth. We can do it. The cold goes away. It's not forbidden. Now we can go to that ward where everything started. It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor. One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I could not speak. Everything terrified me, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and tore off all of my clothes, every last stitch. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days, alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist. She was my only hope in this hell. I was falling down amongst the damned, but that woman and her smile kept me alive. The door's locked from the outside. Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside. He laughed, panted, lurched over me. It hurt when he touched me. I thought I'd split apart suddenly with a loud thud, shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, filthy. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renée obeyed. He was the boss in the realm of light. I was devoured by the evil I had done. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. My God, those medical examinations. The doctors said there was something inside me, which they would have dragged out of me. My God. She stayed with Renée during those terrible medical examinations. That's what gave her the strength to survive. They went to the gynecology ward on the first floor. (21/08/1938). Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I am referring a patient to you, Renée T. This wretched girl eluded our control and caused trouble in the park almost 3 months ago. The nurses should pay more attention. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll sort things out, don't worry. We don't want to make things any worse. Then they said that Renée was crazy and that the illness was all in her head.
Be careful, little girl. Be careful.
I was scared and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renée. He just wrote things down. "You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid," he said. "Everything's going to be fine." Do you want to know what I'm writing? I write down what I see about you. Everything I see. He didn't hate Renée. He tried to help her. But he rarely examined her in those small surgeries. The doctor who wrote things down was in surgery C. March 1938. Renée T., 16 years old, Menarche at the age of 12, housewife, father unknown, mother a seamstress. Admitted for observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for psychiatric evaluation, which has been executed by me. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she has tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We shouldn't read this document. It's forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there'll be trouble. Have you ever wondered who you are? Yes, you must have wondered. Will you help me to understand? To escape this dazzling light inside me that stops me from seeing? Don't frighten me, I beg you. I want to understand. Don't mock me. Forget this document. Let's look for Amara. She'll know. Come on, let's get a move on. The park, at the back and then down towards the kitchens. This is the road we used to take. If she hadn't been there, in the park on that bench in spring for all those days, it was like escaping nature. She talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole something to eat and went straight back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the showers, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away. She wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it, she must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why. Let's look for Amara in the kitchens in the basement of the building, behind the greenhouse. Nature helped me to forget, to get out of system. The scent of spring. The land of light was far away, and we spent the days chatting, seated on the stone benches. Come on, let's search everywhere. She must be here, without a doubt. Keep looking. We mustn't give up. Adele, that little girl has been there, motionless in front of the kitchens for hours. Poor thing. I gave her a sweet. She ate it without saying a word and remained there still. I don't think she's well. We used to see her now and again. Now she's always there. I'm off. The doctor's not here. He'll be here in the afternoon. Try and speak to him. Poor thing. Lost in her dreams. She was only a little girl. But nobody gave her a cuddle. On the contrary, they punished her. They said she was ill. Her dreams were bothersome. Even her dreams weren't hers anymore. I need her. But we will find her. We'll find her, won't we? When the water in the shower was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renée, under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers that her body gave me. It all has to go back to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us. everything's ready. We can go to the showers. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers. Now everything's ready. We can go to the showers. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers. Not in this ward, not in observation, remember? Let's go into the tranquil ward. Everything's ready. Let's strip off and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing room. Let's now turn on the water and everything will be as it once was. Amara was the only thing that Renée had. They separated them. Renée to the semi-agitated ward, the one which terrified everyone. Those injections were torture, the just punishment for what I was doing. And her, who knows where Amara was. They had taken me upstairs into that ward where no one wanted to go. Let's look for Renée's room in the semi-agitated ward. When there was too much chaos, they closed all the windows and the door. They switched off the lights and it was pitch black. Some people fell asleep. Some others stopped seeing their demons and things became more peaceful.
Montefascoli, 20th December, 1941. Dear Director, please let me know how my daughter, your patient Renée T, is doing. I've written to my daughter several times, but without getting any reply. I'm very worried, and since I've been ill for some time and I'm not fit to come and visit her, please do me the favor of letting me know when it will be possible for me to bring my daughter home. Your humble servant, Ada T. Bring this letter to the attention of Dr. C so he can evaluate the possible discharge of the patient. Let's close the window shutters, the door, and switch off all the lights. We want darkness.
They put a straight jacket on you. They gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet. They tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed.
suffocated by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop masturbating. I remember her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there. A whole lot of them. It was then that I saw that doll, which wasn't Charlotte. No, she wasn't Charlotte. The past was like the present. That doll, that man, the shame. Renée was increasingly divorced from reality. How will I ever be able to find out what really happened? How will I ever be able to find Amara again if I can't even find myself? Montefoscoli, 12th November, 1939. Dear daughter, it is with great sadness that I have heard what has happened. Your transfer and your sufferings are a cause of great worry for me. It will take time, but you'll see. Things will improve. They'll treat you and you'll get better again. I pray a lot, every day. Write to me often and tell me if you need anything. I'll do what I can. Try to be strong, Mom. This is the last letter she wrote me. Once I was put into this ward, loneliness arrived. After that medical examination, I received no more letters from Mum. Why is that man here? Why doesn't she come? Did I make a mistake? It didn't look like she wanted to abandon me. What did I do wrong? I should like to be able to reply to her again now, to change things. Perhaps she would have listened to me. Will she reply? The letters were sent to the archive. It was their job to send them. When you were sent to a lunatic asylum, you lost the right to possess anything. Everything you arrived with was packed up and stored here, even the clothes you were wearing. in case you were released one day. Too many, however, never left. There must be a file with my name in the filing cabinet, somewhere here. Dear Mother, please, I beg you, get me out of this place. It frightens me so much. You were right. I know I was wrong. I realize I'm so ashamed. If you only knew how much. But now I'll behave well. Sure, now things will be fine. I'll work hard. I'll be very good. Your daughter, Renee. This letter. It was Renee's letter, just like when it was written, but it was never sent. Why? Why did a thing like that happen? I've received your letter, Mum. You tell me to be patient and strong, while I only have fear and pain, and you no longer write to me. If only these lines could be my soul and tell you what's happening to me. The kids want to kill me. They all look the other way, and they tell me what I must do. I don't understand. She helps me, but what have they done to her? Can you tell me? Will you help me? Renee. Montefascoli, 7th July, 1940. My dear daughter, I have received no news from you. You haven't even dropped me a line for months. Unfortunately, I can't afford to come and visit you. I've no money for the fare. Do you remember Mr. Onofrio? He'll soon be coming to Volterra on business. I've asked him if would be kind enough to ask the director to have news about you. I hope when he comes back, he'll be able to give me good news. But write to me. I know that I was strict with you. You have to excuse me. I didn't realize. I've given Mr. Onofrio a new doll for you. You told me that you lost yours, and I know you loved it so much. It's not as nice as your Charlotte, but I hope that it will comfort you nonetheless. Keep your chin up, daughter. Things will be fine. You'll see. Mum. Montefascoli, 12th October, 1940. Dear daughter, I've written 2 letters to you and have received no reply. I await a letter anxiously every day. Mr. Onofrio has come back. He brought you the doll. Do you like it? He told me he didn't manage to speak to the director, but he did see you. I pray for you every day. Don Gino said a prayer for you during Sunday Mass. That was lovely, wasn't it? I've made up my mind, Renee. I'm going to bring you home. I've already written to the director. I told him that I'll take care of you. At the moment I'm not well and can't work, but I'll soon get better. You'll see as soon as I'm up to making the journey, I'll come and get you. I know you're suffering a lot, but bear up, I beg you. Mum will come and pick up Renee, won't she? Mum is good, but she's not well. That's why that man came. The doll. Renee could have played with it, waiting for her to arrive. But Renee never had it with her. Is it one of Mum's lies? She knew that she had hurt Renee and... No, Mummy's good. That man brought it. We've just remembered him, haven't we? It was Renee who was wrong. The doll's there, that's sure. Perhaps she's been kidnapped like everyone else, locked up somewhere in here. Let's look for the second doll. It'll be among bundles of the patient's things. Now we can open the bundle on that table in front of the window. See, Mum was good. I was bad. Mum was worried about Renee and Charlotte. I abandoned Charlotte. We've abandoned her. Let's look for Charlotte. We have abandoned her. She will always remain where we abandoned her, beneath the hot lights. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Charlotte's gone away. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Leave us alone. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Even though we're bad. Mom won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything. Charlotte gone away. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're bad.
I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders.
What was that doctor writing, sitting at his desk? "7th September 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all the other filth. Crazed, she hears voices. They order her about. She says she heard children singing. They were imprisoned in a school. 20th January 1939. Mutistic, groggy, pays no attention to anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. 1st June. Apathetic, eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Doesn't respond. Passes her time in the park. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. 14 October. Impulsive once again. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabaglione, but the moment she was given them, she threw them away. Excited, uproarious, slightly confused, she strips off. 8th December. Tied to bed for 15 days. High-spirited, tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words, laughs hysterically, masturbates. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on her own and didn't want to leave. They report that when they took her away, she swore at them and then hit out at them and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. Since then, they've kept her tied to the bed. Transferred to the semi-agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories terrify me. They're not real, are they? "15th December. Dr. C. Patient notes. The abnormality of her psychic state has induced her to lead a life which is irregular and tends towards delinquency. Of fickle and flighty character, she abandons her household duties at intervals and dabbles in occasional prostitution." Prostitution? Nobody would have ever believed a lunatic, let alone a lunatic who lives in the worst sort of sin. Could such a person ever have been raped? Certainly not. Her mental deficiency makes her deaf to the reprimands of her family. She has shown suicidal tendencies. She was brought to the ward yesterday, agitated and vociferous, treated with cortisol, 2 injections a week for 5 weeks. They were only trying to confuse us with the therapy, and my God, they managed. It was as if they wanted to instill the madness into us. "2nd June. After a long period of calm and improvement, the patient is very agitated today and vehemently refuses to submit to a gynecological examination. She swore and cursed those who generated her, flailing her arms and hitting out. The patient, according to reports by Dr. B, has been subjected to periodic checkups since she had a spontaneous abortion about 2 years ago in her 3rd month of pregnancy. Conception occurred after she had sexual intercourse with a stranger who sneaked into the hospital park. As detailed in the charges filed at police headquarters in Volterra, a copy of which is attached to these clinical notes. ES therapy." That's how the reality is hidden. It's all carefully planned. "13th June. The nurses report that after having received her mother's letter, she fell into a state of great mental confusion. She threw her soup over another inmate because she was very anxious, and she punched a nurse. Impulsive, lashes about her. She rails against the doctor in vulgar terms while he is examining her, lashes out and spits. Block all correspondence so as not to give the patient further reasons to become agitated. 20th August. Tied to bed. The nurses report that the patient becomes highly agitated after the visit of a relative or family friend. Even 2 days later, she still shouts ceaselessly that he commands her, that she must obey and harm herself, and that she is not Charlotte. All visits forbidden, constrained to bed and intensification of ES therapy until we achieve results. No contact with the exterior. In that way, no one knew what was happening within these walls. Calm down. You've got to be calm. Don't get agitated. We'll make you calm down. That's the only thing that matters. Is tranquility worth the price of not living? 3rd March. Alert, correct attitude, replies when questioned. The nurses report that the patient is calm. She washes and looks after herself. She affirms the existence of a certain Amara. She says that Amara is a patient who disappeared when she was moved to this ward. No confirmation. Probably a regressive hallucination. Evaluate transfer. Amara invented by me? That's not possible. She was there. I know she was there. I feel it. She must have left traces somewhere. We can look for her things in the storeroom containing the bundles of patients' belongings on the 1st floor. These are Amara's things, I'm certain. Amara, there she is. She existed, certainly she existed. There she is, my friend. 12th March, 1938. Today, Renée, the young girl, arrived. She's terrorized, poor thing. See, she remembers when we met the first time. I met her mother, poor thing. She gave vent to her fears with me. I promised her that I would keep an eye on her daughter. The lady told me her daughter's doll had been taken away from her, and she was very worried about this because when Renée's depressed, as she is in this period, she barricades herself inside and can't communicate. She uses the doll for this, and it becomes her voice, her eyes, and her ears. Dr. B said that I'll soon get out of here. I'm sorry, I'm sad about leaving Renée. I'll no longer be able to protect her. My poor friend! She was hoping to be able to get out of here, but nobody ever leaves this place. That poor girl is really ill. I'm the only one she ever speaks to. I told her I was leaving, and she stared at me, saying that I would never leave. She almost frightened me. Then she started to cry. I felt like crying too. She didn't say anything else. I'm worried because that terrible man had set his eyes on her. I'm certain it was him who brought her in here. Of all the good people that there are, why did it have to be him? She knew. I told her everything. She knew about that man. That's why they wanted to make her disappear from my life. But I had advised a nurse friend of mine to keep an eye on her, and I'm sure she'll do it because she's a good woman. Her friend, the nurse. I think I remember something. She worked in this ward. Let's search for the nurse's traces in the nursery room on the 1st floor. She mainly worked in the Marigliano Pavilion. Let's get out of here and look for that pavilion. Here, Renée was alone. Charlotte had abandoned her. Without Charlotte, Renée couldn't communicate with the outside world. Mother knew that. She's kind with everyone, even with me. When I saw her, I felt a little bit better. The sick children laughed and played with her. Not even they could frighten me. Don't bother Renee, she's a princess here, didn't you know? She told stories. She said there was a war out there. However, they looked at me and frightened me. They would come to look for me in the evening, and then no one would have protected me. Not even you, Charlotte, right? Let's follow the hearse until we reach the graveyard.
There's Charlotte. My voice, my eyes, my ears, my very soul. Let's go and play together once more. My voice to say what? Meaningless things. Offend the others and get into trouble. Eyes to see desperate people. In the mirror, the shadow of what I once was. Gaunt, worn out, they're killing me slowly, day after day. My ears to hear screams, deliriums, threats, and false promises. It'll be all right. Everything will pass. My soul incapable of living. Of adapting to a world to which it doesn't belong. It's increasingly far from me, always farther. Let's go and play together once more.
I'd like to lose my voice. I'd like to lose my eyes. I'd like to lose my hearing. I'd like to lose myself forever.
What's happened? What kind of place is this? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. I might be dead. I can't get up. What's going on here? What's happening to me? There's no one here, yet these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
I'm medical file again. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore. There's only confusion. There were some who had scarcely seen me and thought they knew me and understood what was happening to me and could decide about my life.
Once more, I feel like I'm on the edge of an abyss. What a horrible feeling. My paranoia is knocking urgently at the gates. Everything is booming, and in the end, I know they will enter and destroy me in a few moments. For a short while, I shall no longer be here, but in my personal hell, devoured by fear which will be directed violently towards the exterior. When you're not well, I mean in your head. When you're crazy, to cut a long story short, what am I? Well, that's that. I can no longer speak or move. I find it hard to swallow. I can't eat. Then it passes. I feel better, like now, perhaps. Then I feel increasingly anxious. I can't sleep. I can't stop thoughts that come to me, one on top of the other, and I suffer from memory lapses. Yes, there are periods I don't remember anything about. I don't even know what it means. It began happening with my fiancé, and Bruno was there. They said I did certain things, you know. I'm too embarrassed to talk about them. But I think that's the reason I'm here, isn't it? But now I no longer do any of those things, right? Please send me home. I'm sure I'm okay, and I still want to go home. But nobody comes to visit me. Why? Do you know?
August 1942. We hereby communicate the death of Ada T., mother of Renée T., a patient in your institution. No known relative. Sincerely yours, Onofrio P. I've nobody left in the world. Nobody at all. Solitude is very strange. It muffles everything, slows it down. It's an endless scream which doesn't emit any sound. A silent shout, I can't stop looking at myself. I will never leave this place. There's nobody for me out there. These walls have become my skin, and the wretched desperation within them is my soul without a voice. Here, nobody weeps anymore. How I would love to feel life, desperation, anger. I've stopped dreaming, daydreaming, maybe even thinking. I've lived in a reality which has corroded me, depriving me of everything, even of my capacity to feel pain. May 5th, 1943. Renee's in a good state of health. She eats and speaks, is orientated in space and time. Therapy suspended. 3rd December. She asks, reasonably, if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months. 2nd May, 1944. Discharge denied, despite favorable psychiatric opinion. Patient has no home or means of support. 4th May. The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained, and in this manner Renee learns of her mother's death 2 years after the fact. 5th May. During the night she tried to kill herself by hanging herself with a sheet. saved by the nurses. Restrained to her bed, she once more tries to kill herself by suffocation. It is decided to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
June 1944. Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative. Motor coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement. Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself. In the summer of 1944, Renée was transferred back into my department. Aware of little, indifferent, hardly ever spoke. One day, she said, "When I find the courage to look at myself in the mirror, I see a young face which is aged and looks at me full of fear." She is a woman now who has changed profoundly compared to the girl that I had under my care several years ago. Only the sadness of her gaze and her intelligence are unchanged. She's so young, just 23 years old, but is lacking all vitality. Perhaps her condition may improve, but probably not. Her life has been thrown away, and nobody did a thing to try to avoid this.
This is